knows what you should be doing, even though they don't know your life, your stories, your desires, your fears, your family, your obligations. I'm hoping this podcast gives you the opportunity to think about what you want, to listen to your still small voice. Welcome back. I'm Jennifer. So the holiday season is upon us. And as a season with so much potential for going inward, for rest and restoration, it can feel like it is anything but that. So, how to get ahead of it? And how not to beat yourself up when inevitably you get to the first and second week in January feeling more depleted, angry, and exhausted than when you first started. So I could sit here and talk about boundaries, which I am sure everyone has heard too much of and doesn't need any more of that nonsense, because I'm aware that sometimes you just have to take one or two or three things for the team. You know, there are times that having boundaries can cause huge strife and problems in relationships and families and within ourselves. And there just may not be the capacity to handle that at the time. I do want to acknowledge that there are people and situations in our lives that we would love to not have to deal with. We would love to have boundaries around it regularly and over the holidays. But this is the reality, is that we have these situations and these people that for whatever reason we are going to have to deal with. So for all these crunchy, anxiety-producing things, like, let's just acknowledge that right now, that they're going to be there. And maybe this year they'll be better, and maybe they'll be just as bad as we remember, or maybe they'll be worse. I'm not, going to Pollyanna any of this. Let's acknowledge in advance where it's going to hurt, what's going to hurt, and what, after we acknowledge it, we might do to lessen the blow as much as possible without accidentally making the challenge harder or more difficult on ourselves and others. So let's really speak and name this out. Harkening back to my first ever episode and actually my first ever season, let's do it this way. Let's answer these questions. Pretend I'm interviewing you. Right now I'm going to ask you these questions. I'm going to give you about a minute afterward to answer in between. So see if you can fill that whole minute. So the first question: what are the things that you are dreading doing, but unless you want to restructure your whole family or feel like blowing up your life right now, that you're going to have to do this holiday season? Thank you for answering that one. So with that in mind, are there any other events or things that you're remembering now that you've been talking about all these other things? Are there preparations you always forget about until the last minute? Is there a party that you always hope won't happen but will probably end up be happening? Think about those things. What are they? Okay, so now that we've listed out all the things that we are not looking forward to, Why do you dislike these things so much? What is it about them that makes you crazy? Is it a scheduling thing? Is it a stimulation thing? Is it a I'm bored thing? Is it a money thing? Is it a time thing? What is it that makes you just so not wanting to do this? Okay, so now that we've listed why we dislike these things so much and what it is about that makes us crazy, now let's dig down another layer. So what about it all really doesn't sit right with you? What is the reason down in your core, in your values, in your idea of the world, our idea of life, of why these certain things just do not sit well with you? You do not want to do them. You would do a lot of things to not do them. Not enough to maybe stop them, but you would like to find another way. So what is it about it that just doesn't sit right with you? Okay, and for our last question, another something I'm bringing back from season 1. We're going to wave a magic wand, or maybe we just have thought of alternatives. What would you rather be doing than these things that you do not want to do? Is there a way you could change it and make it a bit more enjoyable? Or is the answer of, I just do not want to do this thing. I would rather have a root canal or be anywhere else. And that could be the case. You would rather have a root canal. That is as honest an answer as can be if that is your true answer. So go ahead, 1 more minute, and answer that question. Okay, that's a minute. Thank you. And thank yourself, because now we've gotten that all out, that we have brought it to the front of our mind and we can acknowledge it. So what is it that you would rather be doing? And hopefully it's not just a root canal at that point, because I don't think anybody wants one unless they really, really need to have one. But what is something that you'd rather be doing that you could be doing? How could you do that? Even in the most minuscule way. My mother and I used to go out for Christmas tea, and one year we decided not to. So I made sure I made myself a snack and tea a little more at home while I was working. Maybe it's something on the gift giving. Maybe that's gotten too far gone, and maybe you find a way that you just do a family gift for your nearest and dearest. My favorite is, do you just want to go into a cave and wait until the season is over? That's usually one that I want to do, or at least have more restful downtime. So maybe it's a day or an hour that you get to gift yourself this season. I've been known to kind of disappear from my schedule and say I'm driving and give myself an hour. I mean, what is it that you could give yourself right now, even while having to do those things? So in this episode, we kind of acknowledged what the frustrations are and what we would like to do. And in the next episode, we're going to dig into some more of these seasonal expectations and traditions and figure out how we can make it work for what we want, for what we don't want, and how to prepare, recover, and adjust as best we can as we get ready to enter into the rush of the holiday season. Thanks for being here today, and keep listening. Thank you for joining me today. If you enjoyed this episode, I'm so glad. And if you didn't, well, that's fine too. Thanks for giving it a try. You can do all the things if you so desire. You can subscribe, rate, review, follow, emoji, whatever it is you feel called to do. Please do what you feel called to do. If you take nothing else from this podcast, please take that. I do appreciate any feedback that you may have. You can reach out to me at my email address found in the show notes. Thank you so much.